I'm not saying that he doesn't like white people. I'm saying he has a problem. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
The beginning of this horror picture show. I think people have no idea what's coming down the pike. This is the crown jewel of socialism.
Point is, it'll never come back with a $4 or $5 gallon of gasoline, and Obama doesn't get it.
Wait, you're blaming him now for the $4 or $5 gallon of gasoline?
Absolutely. Why? He's got Lisa Jackson at the EPA. He's got Salazar. How's this?
How is the president responsible for speculators driving up gas prices?
You know who he nominates for the Department of Commerce secretary job?
Yeah.
An eco-terrorist, John Bryson.
Wait, get out of here. The man who runs the biggest utility in America.
Juan, you know he started that environmental group that has done nothing.
Okay, but he's the biggest utility operator in America. How's that not a businessman?
Try and push us. His quote, we should be off oil and gas completely within 20 years. That will never happen.
You don't like the president's policies. We'll see how it goes because the economy is not in any good shape by any means. I agree with you there.
But now in the last year, I've seen the political establishment advising Obama that if you don't have a new Oklahoma City or 9/11 to blame the Tea Party, your political career is over. And there's new reports out where they're basically calling for a stage crisis, a war. Obama's saying he's not worried about al-Qaeda. He's worried about lone wolf, domestic groups. And remember about a month ago, Homeland Security put out all these new PSAs where almost everyone in it is a white person. And if you've got a cell phone, if you're wearing a hoodie, you're a terrorist.
Yeah, right. Independent, patriotic Americans who desire fiscal sanity in our beloved nation being called terrorists. Heck, Sean, if we were real domestic terrorists, shoot, President Obama would be wanting to pal around with us.
We are not surrendering to this. Soft tyranny, hard tyranny, it's all tyranny. They're going to tell us what kind of health insurance we can have? Really? Not without a fight.
Look at the other communist dictatorships on the planet and tell me, is that where you want to live? Because that's where you're going to live. You're going to live there as sure as I'm standing here because they're taking away every brick of freedom in this country, one brick at a time. And they're being found out, and they're being called out on it, not by everyone by any means, but by a few brave souls.
An exclusive first look at what is soon to be a New York Times #1 bestseller. It's the explosive, controversial new book, Demonic, How the Liberal Mob is Endangering America. It hits stores tomorrow morning. Best-selling author Ann Coulter is here. First of all, the book... to come up with this title, Demonic, which they'll freak out about.
Right.
Why? How do
well, I began the book with the scene in the Bible when Jesus approaches the possessed man, and the possessed man's screaming, he's out of his mind, he's naked, he's running around.
Legion.
Don't torture me, don't torture me. And Jesus, there's a little exchange. Jesus says, what is your name? And he answers, my name is Legion. Then the demons run out of him. The demon's name is Legion. The demon is always a mob. And you see this over and over again in real-life exorcisms. They talk to the possessed, and it's always they. Satan saying, they all belong to me. And this is, I mean, it's part of why liberals are a mob and are so obsessed with status and power. Americans have always understood the danger of mobs. They are always dangerous. They are always demonic. But the point is, Nixon came in, shut it down. There was the shooting at Kent State, and gosh, I know liberals don't like it, and you look on Nexus and, oh, the whole country was embarrassed. Well, I'm not embarrassed. That's what you do with a mob.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're at the point of determination. The point of determination. And what is that determination? Whether we live free as mature citizens in the greatest country of the world, or whether a relative handful of temporary politicians, most of whom will be gone in 10 or 20 years, will be able to destroy this society and destroy the American dream for your children.
Obama is a radical communist, and I think it's becoming clear. That's what I told people in Illinois, and now everybody realizes it's true. He's going to destroy this country, and we're either going to stop him, or the United States of America is going to cease to exist. His Kenyan relations say that he was born in Nairobi at a time when his mother was too young to transmit U.S. citizenship. So I'm not even sure he's president of the United States. No, that's not a laughing matter. Neither are many of our military people now who are going to court to ask the question, do we have to obey a man who is not qualified under the Constitution? We're in the midst of the greatest crisis this nation has ever seen. And if we don't stop laughing about it and deal with it, we're going to find ourselves in the midst of chaos, confusion, and civil war. It's time we started acting like grown-ups.
Like it or not, fascism is on the rise.
Is an attack on you. This president saw you at the rallies. He saw you at these Tea Party events. He saw you at the town hall meetings. He reads the polls. He looks at the surveys. And you know what he says to you? Screw you.
Barack Obama is the worst president in history. And my generation will inherit a weakened country. Drug cartels in Mexico, tax cartels in D.C. What's happened to America? I love Arizona. I was raised right. Somebody has to go to Washington and knock the hell out of the place. My name's Ben Quayle, and I approve this message.
By
because there's been no single president, we got into this with Karl Rove earlier, that has moved America away from free market capitalism to socialism. When you add up the numbers, he's going to quadruple the debt, $10 trillion, $806 billion on interest. Now, these are real numbers that we're going to ultimately pay for. A down payment of $634 billion on health care. On national security, embracing every dictator, cutting back on national defense, apologizing for America, Bill Cunningham, I think it's beyond a pre-9/11 mentality. It is America, the appeasement mentality.
Sean, what we have here is this little boy who grew up in Jakarta, Indonesia at the age of 6 to 10, rejected by his own father, rejected by his own mother, rejected by his stepfather, raised by his grandparents, bowing before the king of Saudi Arabia, kissing the behind of every European socialist, saying okay to people like Ahmadinejad. We have the most disreputable, the most dishonest 100 days in American political history, and this guy actually believes it's good.
Okay,
this is unbelievable.
Let me just say something.
This is unbelievable.
Claims that his grandmother was scared of black men, which is why he didn't become one until he was 40.